Was the 2016 US election really rigged? Donald Trump at a rally in Green Bay claims it loud and clear. The election is rigged. Rudy Giuliani, Trump's campaign advisor, isn't holding back either. On national TV, he's calling out cities like Philadelphia and Chicago, claiming only a moron would expect fairness in these elections. His bold claim: dead people generally vote for Democrats rather than Republicans. But the reality was something else. It was actually a Russian who plotted to stir chaos and tip the scales. Ordered by none other than Vladimir Putin, this operation aimed to sabotage Clinton's campaign and boost Trump's chances. So, what exactly happened? Did external forces manipulate the US election? Let's examine the evidence, break down the claims, and uncover what truly happened in the 2016 election. And before we move forward, the insights we're going to share with you aren't based on rumours or speculation. They're drawn from the rigorous investigation led by Robert Mueller, whose findings were detailed in reports to Attorney General William Barr. This isn't hearsay, it's the outcome of an exhaustive probe into one of the most contentious elections in American history. Now, the first thing that came to light due to these investigations was how Russia accessed US voter databases. The hackers were Russian operatives. Their target wasn't the actual votes, but the databases that hold the key to voter information across at least 21 states. So, what exactly happened was that just a couple of months before Election Day, the FBI found out that voter systems in Illinois and Arizona had been hacked. But the full story didn't come out until later. In fact, it wasn't until after the election that the Department of Homeland Security finally told the states involved just how bad the breach was. And in 2018, when Mueller's investigation was in full swing, they charged 12 Russians for these hacks. These guys were accused of stealing 500,000 voter records from just one state, including really sensitive stuff like social security numbers and driver license details. These hackers were so bold that they even messed around with the websites of counties in key battleground states like Georgia, Iowa, and Florida. They infiltrated a voter registration software company as well, sending out fake emails to trick election officials in Florida. The Senate Intelligence Committee later revealed that these cyber intruders not only got into these systems, but in some places they could have actually changed or deleted voter registration data. Think about that for a second. They had the power to mess with who gets to vote, damaging Hillary Clinton's campaign. Now, it didn't all stop there. The next thing that got rigged was Hillary Clinton's campaign. It started in March 2016 when Russian military intelligence agents, known as the GRU, started targeting Clinton's team. They came in disguised as routine Google security alerts. These weren't helpful warnings. Instead, they were cleverly crafted traps. Clinton's campaign staffers and volunteers received these emails, urging them to click a link to change their passwords. But clicking that link gave the GRU agents the keys to their email accounts. Using this sneaky method, these operatives managed to steal tens of thousands of emails, including those from campaign chairman John Podesta. The GRU then created a fictitious online persona called Guccifer 2.0 to distribute these stolen emails to WikiLeaks. This move wasn't just about leaking information, it was about timing and impact. WikiLeaks began releasing these emails right before the November election, creating a storm of negative press for Clinton and diverting public attention from her campaign messages when it mattered most. This sophisticated breach was a calculated assault aimed at swaying public opinion and impacting the election outcome. Targeting the Democratic Party infrastructure. Alright, next important thing in 2016 rigging process was in the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, or DCCC. Russian GRU operatives sustained their cyber assault by sending malicious emails to penetrate the DCCC's network. Once inside, they planted malware to dig deeper, accessing an array of computers to swipe thousands of emails and documents pivotal to the election. In a particularly telling move in April 2016, these hackers hunted through a DCCC computer, searching for terms like Hillary, Cruz, and Trump. They even copied a folder titled Benghazi Investigations, showing their intent to gather politically explosive material. Now, gaining this foothold in the DCCC network was just a stepping stone to a bigger prize, the Democratic National Committee, or DNC. By early June 2016, the Russian officers launched a site called dcleaks.com to start leaking thousands of those stolen documents and emails. When the DNC realised and announced it had been hacked, the Russians quickly crafted the Guccifer 2.0 persona to deflect suspicion and obscure the true source of the hack. The ramifications were immediate and significant. Posing as Guccifer 2.0, the Russian agents handed over the stolen documents to WikiLeaks, which promised a dramatic impact. Just days before the Democratic National Convention, WikiLeaks dropped more than 20,000 stolen DNC emails, timing it to maximise the political fallout. This leak caught the attention of the Trump campaign. Allegations swirled around Roger Stone, a long-time Trump confidant, who was reportedly urged by a senior Trump campaign official to find out what more damaging information WikiLeaks had on Clinton. According to indictments, Stone flaunted his connections to WikiLeaks, keeping the Trump campaign in the loop about impending leaks. This connection peaked in October when, after a brief delay by WikiLeaks, Stone reassured Steve Bannon, then Trump's campaign chairman, about the impending release. Indeed, WikiLeaks delivered, publishing Podesta's emails just hours after a major scandal involving Trump surfaced in the media. While direct evidence of collusion remains debated, the intertwined actions and timing outlined by Mueller's investigation suggest a series of manoeuvres that significantly swayed public perception and electoral momentum during the final critical weeks of the campaign, broadening the attack towards Republicans. In this extent, one significant instance involves Senator Marco Rubio. After dropping out of the presidential race in 2016, Rubio wasn't out of the woods. He reveals during a Senate intelligence hearing in 2017 that former members of his presidential campaign team were targeted by Russian IP addresses shortly after he announced he would seek re-election to the Senate. This attempt, while unsuccessful, was not an isolated incident. Rubio's team was targeted yet again, just the day before the hearing, showcasing the persistent threat from these operatives. Moreover, Russia didn't stop at individual campaigns. They even probed the Republican National Committee. Although these efforts were less successful and targeted inactive domains, the intent was clear. James Comey, then FBI director, confirmed in a 2017 Senate Intelligence Committee hearing that while the active RNC systems weren't compromised, Russian hackers did attempt to infiltrate state-level Republican campaigns and organizations. Moreover, Russian trolls didn't just stop at online propaganda. They orchestrated real-life rallies, especially in pivotal swing states like Florida and Pennsylvania, and even outside Trump properties in New York. The intrigue deepened with Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting at Trump Tower, prompted by promises of incriminating information on Clinton from a Russian lawyer. Recruiting inside the campaign. Carter Page, a former foreign policy advisor for the Trump campaign, is a prime example. Russian intelligence had been in contact with Page since 2013 and attempted to recruit him. While working for the Trump campaign in July 2016, Page visited Russia, delivered a speech, met with Kremlin officials, and shared these interactions with at least 4 Trump campaign officials. This level of engagement with Russian operatives triggered the FBI to obtain a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, warrant to monitor Page's communications, highlighting the gravity of his contacts. Cohen later admitted to Congress that he had misrepresented the extent of the Moscow project, revealing that Trump had indirectly encouraged these falsehoods. This confession and subsequent testimony in February underscored not just the potential economic benefits that could sway a presidential candidate, but also suggested a deeper, more systemic pattern of misleading the public and possibly a vulnerability to Russian influence. Last words. To sum up the whole discussion, it's clear what we've uncovered isn't just a series of isolated incidents, but a comprehensive campaign aimed at disrupting the very core of democratic process in 2016. From the bold hacks into voter databases and the strategic undermining of political campaigns to the covert operations that manipulated public opinion and political outcomes, the scope of this interference was unprecedented. Whether it was through direct hacking efforts targeting both Democrats and Republicans, staging physical events, or the subtle but powerful influence of social media propaganda, the intent was clear: to sow discord and influence the election's outcome in favour of their preferences. And that wraps up today's video. We really hope you found it informative and learned something new. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to share them in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon if you haven't already, so you never miss out on our latest informative video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and best of luck.